Hello guys, you're watching Go Doctor 2 and today we're going to be talking about episode 8 and I had rumours of this happening and this is obviously a spoiler review. I had rumours of the lone Cyberman being in this episode and I didn't believe it. I thought maybe it might appear at the very end to cause a cliffhanger in, but he was actually part of the episode and I guess this means this was a 3-part story in a way. It means episode 9 and episode 10, we're going to get a finale basis, really, which brings in with, like, Last of the Time Lords, Utopia, Sound of Drums. That was a 3-part, and so was the Monk trilogy. So now we've got a Cybermen trilogy, which is quite interesting. Let's just, before we get into the Cybermen, let's talk about the other stuff. So Mary Shelley, and we want to find out about Frankenstein, and there's nothing to do with Frankenstein other than obviously the Cybermen. They're going to write about the Cybermen in some sort of way to create Frankenstein in their books in the past, basically. And you've got all these group of people, and they're basically of their time period, really. And you've got some interesting characters. I think this is the best casting we've had for an episode so far. Like, we've had side characters that have been, but I think this is the best side characters we've actually had, and it's quite interesting. I did expect to be some sort of ghost thing, but then it's never. The Doctor always never lets that ghost theory actually happen, and it also comes something else. Although Graham did see this dead woman and this dead little child, this dead child, really, and that was interesting to see because, who are they? They never get revealed, and they will probably get revealed in the finale, I think. Or is it linked in with the Time Lords with the Timeless Child? Who knows? But yeah, we don't get answers for that, which they should probably answer in the finale, and I reckon they will. And I think we'll learn about these characters. It's a bit like Series 9, Episode 3 and 4, Under the Lake Before the Flood, where we see this dead character and then we learn how he died as a ghost. We're kind of getting that with the finale, I think. So we've got this house that's kind of all weird and it's manipulating your mind and all that sort of stuff and actually blocking you from getting out the exits, really. Basically defending this cyber control device that has all knowledge of the Cybermen. And this guy picks it up and absorbs it, and he's creating no one can see him, basically. He's like a ghost figure, and he's trying to get people's attention by throwing stuff and all that, and people just seeing things fly about. They're not seeing him, and it's like a ghost aspect. And we also have these bones that start to wander around the place, and that's because it can. I think it's to do with the Cybermen. I'm not particularly sure. And yeah, the side characters are brilliant, and the ghost aspect with that guy who's picked up the cyber thing to make him be a bit more controlled was a good aspect. I kind of liked it. Yeah, I think it's a solid 8 out of 10, this story. But getting onto the Cyberman stuff where I jumped in and was like, I kind of think it's a Cyberman. Before it got revealed, I was like, yeah, that's a Cyberman, isn't it? And it was. I kind of also thought it might have been the baby, an alien baby, causing all this because it kept on zooming in on the baby. But yeah, the Cyberman didn't kill the baby, which was interesting. But he killed the woman that was holding it. He snapped his neck, and that was such a graphical scene. I was like, ooh. And I was like, oh wow, that's different. And also because obviously he didn't have the weapons. He just snapped the necks because he hasn't got any weapons, so he's just going to do that. And that was interesting. I really like the Cyberman aspect with the face getting ripped off. It's a bit like Torchwood when they had the Cyber Woman, and she tried to upgrade this man that was helping the Cyber Woman, and then he's got these cyber parts. It reminded me of that in a way. Yet again, Chris Chibnall using his old past stuff. I think Chris Chibnall wrote the script. I don't know. But yeah, I really like the Cyberman aspect, although I have one complaint against it, and that is I couldn't hear it. I had to try and really listen. It was like that the whole time, like, what's he saying? I can't hear it. It's just like really, I really couldn't hear that much. I really listened to try and, oh, I need to find about this. This is about the finale. I need to listen. So I'm going to have to rewatch this to understand everything he said. But yeah, I think he may have referenced um, about Jodie's home planet being all gone and stuff. I'm not particularly sure in one little scene. But yeah, a Cyberman was basically after this cyber information, and that was all it. This little thing from the future that someone must have put to the past. Maybe the Doctor. And of course, Captain Jack got a reference. Don't help the lone Cyberman. And the Doctor gave it up what it wants, of course, because she couldn't let this guy die. And he's a very important history guy. And yeah, so basically the Doctor's saved the present in this time. They're in the present, basically their present. Not, I know it's in the past, but you get me. So they're in the save the present for the future to be destroyed, basically. And the Doctor's got to go back to the future and try and save that now. She's doomed the future to save the present. We'll just say the past because it is a past episode. I get it. But yeah, Storm and all that historic stuff is being used in an alien sort of thing as well. That was interesting. Yeah, that's not much to talk about this episode. It's just a Cyberman trying to find out and upgrading itself with the Storm and getting electrical shocks to upgrade and power itself. And the Doctor versus the Cybermen was a pretty nice scene. And I kind of liked the human aspect where the Cyberman was peering out. I'm just going on and on about the same stuff now, so I'm just going to wrap it up and say, yeah, the Cyberman got away. Yeah, he got what Captain Jack warned, don't give the Cyberman, and now the future's kind of doomed, and the Doctor's got to go forth and stop that. This hysteric person was reading a book. I don't know whether it was a Frankenstein book, because I've never read Frankenstein, and I've kind of never watched a Frankenstein movie. Obviously, I know what Frankenstein's about. I've seen bits here and there, but I don't know whether it was in the Frankenstein book or not, but it sounded a bit like he was talking about the Cybermen's future, where everything was turned to dust and all that sort of jazz. But if that's the case, then the Doctor's kind of changed history anyway, because they've got a book about the Cybermen in the future, unless UNIT along the way took that and made everyone forget that that book ever existed at some point. I don't know. But yeah. So interesting. We're leading into the finale now with the Cybermen got what it wants to repower and regroup the Cybermen. And I really like the companions in this. Graham was absolutely funny and on point, even though he saw get dead people. That was a good line, to be fair. That's one of the best. Doc, I see dead people. We've also got Ryan. I actually really enjoyed Ryan. I don't think a lot of people appreciate him enough. I really enjoy him more than Yaz, and Yaz did well as well. She did the detective skills and was on it, and then she also noticed about someone trying to break in, and when we open this room and this guy's written all these notes all over the place, it's given notes to give to the Doctor for a location to find the Cybermen. So we're not spending how she find the Cybermen that quickly, because she has the location. That's why, for the next episode, so no one can complain about that. Yeah, the Doctor in this was interesting. She reminded me a bit like Tennant in this episode, but then when she lost her temper with the companions, you know, I don't know whether that was. You can see there's a darker side of her in a way, but there was also her just talking like the Cybermen, and the music went duh, duh, it's making it all heroic. And the speech was nothing. It was just her talking about the Cybermen. I mean, it's not a big moment, so I don't know why the music's trying to big her up, basically. But yeah, I really thought Jodie was brilliant in this. Yeah, it's not the best story, so it's an average. So that's why it's not average or not. It's good. It's just good, which gives it an 8 out of 10. If it was amazing, it would get a 9. If it's outstanding, it would get a 10. And if it's average, it gets a 5. But yeah, and then anything below 5 is terrible. But yeah, it's an 8 out of 10 so far, which is done on par with episode 5, I do believe. And I think episode 1 and 2 are just beating that at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a series ranking and show whether the episodes go and all that at some point. But yeah, I'm going to be reviewing episodes 9 and 10, so stick around for my review of that in next week and then a week after. And just before the finale, I'm going to London Comic Con, so I'll do a vlog and a video on that. So stick around for the London Comic Con vlog. Stick around for the review of episode 9 and 10 and my series overall and top 10s and monsters and all that stuff. And I've done a lot of theories. I've done a theory of how Graham could die, so check that video out. It's just come out. Also talked about how Torchwood can return, so check that video out. So yeah, and we're almost at 50 subscribers. We've got 3 subscribers to go, so if we can get 3 more subscribers, we hit 50, which is an amazing mark to get. I know it's not everything big, but it is big to me because we're hitting 50 now. I would love to hit 100 by the end of the year or something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I've got a lot planned. I've got a lot planned after the series ends as well. So this is the place to be for a Doctor Who fan. So don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, get that little bell, and I will see you for my review of episode 9. Had to think there. Yeah. So yeah, see you for my review of episode 9, and check out my previous videos and my videos to come.